ever really stopped to think about what's lurking under your kitchen sink or hiding in the garage? It's easy to think chemical safety is just for scientists in white lab coats, right? But the truth is, it's a huge part of our everyday lives. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the simple rules that keep you safe, whether you're in a high-tech laboratory or just doing a load of laundry. So here's our game plan. First, we'll uncover the hidden dangers you probably have in your house right now. Then we'll learn how to actually read those warning labels. After that, we'll get into a much smarter way to think about staying safe, go through a super practical checklist, and finally, cover what to do when things go wrong. It's all about moving from just being aware to knowing exactly what to do. All right, let's dive right in with those hidden dangers. And I bet you're going to be surprised by how many common, everyday products are actually considered hazardous. Now, this isn't to scare you, not at all. It's all about awareness. So take a look at these. You've got bleach, gasoline, and that super strong drain cleaner. On the surface, they seem completely different, right? Used for totally different jobs. But they all share one really, really important thing. Any ideas what it might be? And there you have it. All three are officially classified as hazardous chemicals. And again, the point here isn't to make you afraid of what's in your cupboards. It's to empower you. Just understanding that these everyday things carry real risks, well, that's the absolute first step to handling them with the respect they deserve. Okay, so if these hazards are kind of everywhere, how are we supposed to know what we're dealing with from one product to the next? Well, thankfully, there's a universal system, a visual language designed to keep us all safe. And trust me, it's surprisingly easy to learn. It's called GHS. It stands for the Globally Harmonized System, which is a bit of a mouthful, I know. But think of it like this. It's a universal translator for chemical safety. The whole goal is to make sure a warning label in Tokyo means the exact same thing as a warning label in Toronto. So for you and me, that means whether we buy something online or at the local store, the symbols are clear and consistent, no guesswork. And this is where the system gets really cool because it's so visual. These little pictures, these pictograms, are basically like traffic signs for chemicals. Let's just run through a few. The flame, pretty obvious, right? It means it's flammable. The skull and crossbones, yeah, that one's serious. It signals acute toxicity, meaning even a short exposure could be fatal. Then there's the corrosion symbol. You can literally see it eating away at a hand and a piece of metal. That's your big warning that it can cause severe burns. And the exploding bomb, well, that one pretty much speaks for itself. Okay, so we can spot the hazards. That's a huge step. But how do we actually manage them? The answer is a lot more sophisticated than just put on some gloves. There's a much smarter, more effective way to think about safety, and it's called the hierarchy of controls. Now, this is probably one of the most important concepts we'll talk about. Most of us think safety starts at the bottom of this pyramid, with step 4, PPE, our gloves and our goggles. But that's actually the last line of defense. The most effective way to stay safe is to start at the top. Can you eliminate the hazard completely? Or maybe substitute it with something safer, like using a simple vinegar solution instead of a harsh chemical cleaner? If not, can you use an engineering control, like a fan or an open window, to isolate yourself from it? PPE is what you use when all those other, better options aren't enough. It's about thinking smarter, not just gearing up. All right, let's bring this down to earth. Theory is great, but what does this look like in the real world? Here's a simple, practical playbook you can use every single time you handle anything that might be hazardous. Before you even twist the cap, just run through this quick mental checklist. First, have you actually read the label? This is where you'll find out that, for instance, many glass cleaners contain ammonia, which is the crucial piece of info that tells you why you must never mix it with bleach. Next, do you have the right gear? Is a window open for ventilation? And hey, do you know where the fire extinguisher is, just in case? Seriously, 1 minute of preparation can prevent a lifetime of regret. And while you're in the middle of the task, the rules are just as simple. Handle things carefully, keep food and drinks far away, and always close the containers when you're not using them. But the single most important point on this slide, the one that sends people to the emergency room, is this one. Never mix chemicals. That example of bleach and ammonia cleaner, when you mix them, you create a toxic gas called chloramine. It is incredibly dangerous, and it is one of the most common household oxidants there is. Just don't risk it. Look, even when you do everything right, accidents can happen. And knowing what to do in those first few seconds is absolutely critical. Your response has to be fast, it has to be calm, and it has to be correct. If there is one number I want you to burn into your brain from this whole explainer, it's this one, 15. If you get a chemical splashed in your eyes, you need to flush them with clean, running water for a minimum of 15 minutes straight. Not 1 minute, not 5,
15. That can be the difference between a temporary scare and permanent damage.
In any emergency situation, just remember these 4 steps. First, alert. Yell for help, make noise, let people know there's a problem. Second, evacuate. Get yourself, and anyone else if it's safe, out of the immediate area. Third, report. Tell whoever needs to know, a supervisor, emergency services, you name it. And finally, once you're in a safe spot, assess. Figure out if you need first aid or more medical help. Alert, evacuate, report, assess. It's a clear plan for a chaotic moment.
You know, when you boil it all down, all these rules and labels and procedures, they're all pointing to a much deeper idea. And this quote just nails it. Checklists are fantastic tools, but true safety is a mindset. It's about cultivating an attitude of awareness, this sort of constant, quiet respect for the potential risks that are just part of our world.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. What is one small, tangible thing you can do this week to build a stronger safety culture in your own world? Maybe it's just finally reading the label on that cleaner you use all the time, or moving a chemical to a higher shelf away from kids, or maybe it's just sharing what you learned here today. That one small change, that's how a real culture of safety begins.